You alright, everyone? Today, Dana White has come out and kind of addressed the betting scandal that occurred on Saturday at the UFC Vegas event between, what was his name, Dalgarian and Diwali. And he did an interview with, I believe it was TMZ, and basically said what's going to happen and what has happened. Obviously, I done a video yesterday about the scandal, about the allegations, and obviously Dalgarian had been cut and he had his purse suspended or held whilst the investigation goes on. But Dana White has come out with new things today saying what he done and like at the moment of the allegations when the fight had finished and even beforehand, and what is going to happen following that, the actions he's going to take following it, so that justice is served, let's just say. So he, what is it? It was, yeah. So this is the video. It was with TMZ, and we're just gonna watch it, and I'll kind of break down what I think of what Dana White is saying, what he's saying, and so we'll just watch it. If it wants to load, that'd be amazing. And now the video doesn't want to load. Are you? Yeah, okay. There you go. What is going on?
We're with a
There we
company
go.
called we're with a company called
Right. Here we go.
IC360, and they are the best bet monitoring company in the business. They reached out to us and they told us that
Yeah. So there was this like, I guess their bet monitoring company called IC360, which I guess they just monitor every fight, or maybe before every fight, maybe they'll monitor the betting lines and blah blah blah, just to make sure that there's no, uh, weird activity, any suspicious activity goes on, because that's kind of the big giveaway, that the betting lines will shift a lot, like maybe right before a fight, if there is a lot of, or if there is a possible fraud, possible scamming in terms of a fighter losing the fight on purpose.
there was some unusual action going on with that fight. Do we know anything? We didn't. So what we did was we called the fighter and his lawyer and said, "What's going on? There's some weird action going on in your bet. Weird betting action going on in your fight. Are you injured? Do you owe anybody money? Has anybody approached you to, And the kid said, "No, absolutely not. I'm going to
So here Dana White says that, so their betting company noticed like a shift in the odds right before the fight. However, or sorry, rather, so then they called the fighter who's in the back room. I don't think Dana was at the event because he normally never is. He's only really ever at the pay per views. But so they called the fighter. They Well, the way he spoke this, because I believe I'm gonna take this on how he's saying it, but I believe he's misspoke in this interview. I think they called him after the fight, but the way he sets this up, as if this happened before the fight. I believe he's misspoken in this interview, because he says they called the fighter um before the fight, but why would they call him if he's in the apex? Would someone not go to him? Like, I don't know what's going on, but like in terms of why would they need to call him? Why wouldn't someone else go to him? It was really suspicious. Or not suspicious. It's really like weird the way he said that. But if you're going off what he's saying, so they called the fighter and his lawyer. That's what he said, and it was, have you? There's suspicious activity. Are you planning on throwing your fight? And he said, no, absolutely not. So I guess they let the fight go forward, and which is weird because, well, there's the rest of this video, so watch this.
this guy." And so we said, "Okay." The fight plays out, and first round finish by rear naked choke. Literally, the first thing we did was call the FBI. So we called the FBI.
So yeah, they let the fight go forward even though there was suspicious activity, And it's like, why? I know the guy, I know the fighter said no, I know Bulgarian said no, there's no, like, he's not doing anything, but it's like, why would you still let the fight go ahead? And it's like, I bet you the first thing Dana White like wished he hadn't done was let the fight go ahead. Obviously, if well, maybe he would have because he wants to catch like some guy who's trying to fight fix, but the fight goes ahead. It lasts like a minute, 2 minutes, and it's like it's obvious match like it's obvious. Or it would appear to be it's ostensibly fight fixing, ostensibly, uh, fraud, just because it's quite coincidental. This happens, and then the fighter loses in a minute, and he just doesn't like wrestle. Because he was like trying to get a takedown, and it's like he couldn't finish it, and it looked really like easy he could finish it, and it just looked very suspicious. So that happened, and then as Dana White said, he called the FBI. The first thing he done after the fight was finished is he called the FBI.
I've met with the FBI twice today. People out there talking, oh, there's hundreds of fights under it's total bullshit. So this company, IC360, which is the best bet monitoring company in the business, we've been with them for years. So for anybody out there, when this did happen, a couple of years ago.
Okay, well, he was. One of the parts was he called the FBI because he knows Kash Patel. If you don't know Kash Patel, he is the FBI director. Obviously, Dana White is a big Trump guy, and Kash Patel was hired by Trump, and obviously he's probably got a direct line to Kash Patel, to the FBI. So he's called them, and obviously for investigation. And I believe at this part he ties it back to the scandal that was like a couple years ago.
Whatever it was, that investigation is still ongoing, and now will be a part of this investigation too.
Directly talking to Kash Patel, I'm sure you do have a
Here's what he
relationship.
says. That's what he said about Kash Patel, but just before that, he said that the scandal from 2022, I believe it was literally almost like 3 years ago to the day. I think it was Derek Minner and I can't remember the other guy's name. It was like some Asian guy, but it was the exact same kind of situation where the guy just loses really easily after his line shift, and there was an investigation into that, and it's still ongoing. And here's Dana White saying that they're going to be lumping this. They're going to be joining this current investigation into the prior investigation because it was I guess it was the same IC360 that also carried that one out too. So it makes sense to kind of lump them together.
Yeah, I talked to him this morning, but then we just had an office full of FBI agents in here. So
I'm just gonna thinking the video is so slow. Dana White talks so slow. Oh, plus I wanted to say it's like Dana White does these interviews, and he's in his like this room, right? This room is like synonymous with Dana White interviews. Announcing fights and blah blah blah. But can he get a better fucking camera? Like, this is 1080, and that's just happened. Okay, this is 1080p video, right? This is 1080p, and it's bloody as fuck. Can he get a camera? The multi-billionaire or multi-billion-dollar company, I should say, still hundreds of millions of Dana White, and they can't get a clear camera. It's always some bloody. What iPhone does he even use? It's like he uses an iPhone 10 or what? Or no, I'm pretty sure an iPhone 10 had a better camera than that. It's like he's using an iPhone 4. Some Nokia camera or something. I don't know. Anyway, what was he saying here?
You try to do this. I've been very vocal and very open about this.
Yeah, it's just him ranting about fighters that are, trying to do this. So I'll play the clip.
Be your worst enemy. We will immediately go after you, guns ablazing, with the FBI and whoever else we need to get, and we will do everything we can to make sure you go to prison. You're seeing things out.
Yeah, so it's like the whole Dana White saga with the trying to hunt down everyone. Obviously, this is a bit more. This is like obviously betting fraud, which is, I guess you could say, way more serious. But I just remember that clip of him. There's another clip, but the first clip I'm thinking of is and it was like, I think it was the McGregor fight, McGregor Poirier 2, and they were in Abu Dhabi, and they were wanting to do they were saying, the illegal streaming, and he was like, "We're gonna come to his house." Well, no, it's like, we're listening to his phone calls. You put that stream up, and it's like saying the guy's gonna like kill the guy or something. Well, he didn't say that, but like, it's like he was like some Jason Bourne hitman. You know what I mean? They're gonna blow up his house. But yeah.
Where like fighters are coming out and going, "Oh, I was approached. I was approached." Really? Why didn't you tell us that? Or more importantly, why didn't you tell law enforcement that you were approached? Now you're saying that you were approached. It's like if somebody comes up and says, "Hey, I want you to rob a bank. I'm going to rob banks. Want to rob a bank with me?" And you
Yeah, and this was referring to the fighters who, after Saturday, had come out, because obviously the Bulgarian situation was very big. It was kind of blown up, and a lot of, or I say a lot, there was a few fighters that had come out. I think it was Vanessa Demopoulos. Who was it again? What's his name? Landon Venata. He came out and said he'd been approached, and there was one other, and I think it was Vince Morales or whatever his name is. So they'd come out and said they were approached, and Dana White here saying, like, why didn't you report to us that you were approached? Because this is like new information. Like, they never said this to the UFC before, which, yeah, I've no idea why they didn't. Maybe they thought it'd be a bigger. Maybe they thought them mentioning it to the UFC or to the police would be more hassle, more, it'd be a disturbance to them, to like their personal lives than it needed to be. Maybe they just thought, we'll just not mention this. Like maybe they thought that if they mentioned that to the UFC might punish them for whatever reason. I have no idea. They might. I have no idea why they didn't say it. That's just speculating, I guess.
what you're not gonna tell law enforcement? They're gonna be approached now by the FBI.
Yeah.
What would the company called?
Those people who mentioned that, those fighters who came out and said, we've been approached, they'll be asked by the FBI, because the FBI, maybe they think, or just maybe FBI, maybe the UFC think that these people, it's the same maybe ring of betting scammers, I guess you could call them, that are approaching these fighters. Maybe it's the same people, maybe they're connected, maybe it's just the same person. And so obviously they want to tie this back to a a culprit. But that's kind of mainly that video, or mainly that clip of Dana saying that. And obviously we'll need to find out more information down the line. Because I don't know when we'll even find out about this, because that Derek Minner one, the old investigation, that's still ongoing, and that's 3 years old. That's almost 3 years old. So this investigation we may not see this investigation until like UFC 400, the outcome of it or whatever, until like 2030, because it's taking like ages for them to actually finish the first one. And now this is going to get added to it. That's going to take forever. It's going to take ages. If they can't find the guy in 3 years, this is going to take so long. Do I think he's guilty? Do I think Isaac Dolgarian is guilty? I don't know. I don't think so. I'm leaning towards no, but who knows? I have no idea. But before I want to finish the video, it just reminded me of this clip. This was after that old the one from 3 years ago. Yeah, December 2022, and it was this clip of Dana White saying, federal prison.
If I penalize them, you get cut. They're gonna go to fucking federal prison. Federal fucking prison. If you're that fucking stupid and somebody else wants to do it, knock yourself out. There's not enough money in it to ruin your life and not go to.
This is the federal prison, federal fucking prison.
And somebody else wants to do it.
Where is it?
Federal fucking prison.
Yeah.
If you're that fucking stupid.
All-time Dana White clip. All-time goated Dana White clip. But anyway, that was kind of all I wanted to talk about today. And yeah, like, subscribe, it really helps out. And I will see you in the next one. Bye.